for wildfire forecasting, what it means for San Diego as fire season heats up.
A packed anti-ice rally in downtown today. Hear why they want ice out of San Diego.
A popular restaurant at the center of a federal immigration raid reopens.
Hear that noise? People who live in La Mesa say it's happening all day long at a facility run by the city of San Diego, and they're fed up.
Can the color of your car really affect its resale value? Well, a new study says it does, and the results may surprise you.
Standing up for homeless youth, how you can help sell out the concert of hope for Doors of Change.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Proposed DOGE job cuts could be putting San Diego's safety at risk tonight as potential staffing shortfalls look to threaten wildfire forecasting and emergency response. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. As we near the height of fire season, CBS 8's Brian White explains how federal cuts would impact how quickly and accurately wildfires are tracked.
Yeah, the National Weather Service works hand in hand with CAL FIRE year-round, especially during peak wildfire season. But job cuts at NOAA could make fire weather forecasting more challenging this season. As fire season heats up, CAL FIRE crews are out in Boulevard today for live fire training in a controlled burn designed to stop future wildfires in their tracks. But behind the scenes of every fire operation is a crucial forecast. And now job cuts could soon impact the very teams responsible for fire weather warnings.
When you start short and then you lose people or you lose employees, it has even bigger effects.
Meteorologist Alex Tardy just retired after 32 years with the National Weather Service in San Diego. He says the agency was already down about 10% before the latest wave of retirements and layoffs. Now it's closer to 20% nationwide.
When people take vacation, when they're sick, when they have normal days off, when you're talking about a 24/7 operation, 365, you have shifts that don't get filled.
He says here locally, we haven't seen any layoffs at the San Diego or LA offices, only a few retirements. But shortages in other parts of California could become a serious problem when large-scale wildfires break out.
The way it works federally is we're all in it together, and so it doesn't matter if one office is low and one office is perfectly fine. The pain gets shared around.
I reached out to NOAA. They told me the National Weather Service is reassigning a number of positions to field offices with the greatest operational need.
Those actions are going to be critical to the summer because we could fall behind and be short meteorologists, short staffing when it really counts.
And NOAA says it's working to hire more than 100 additional full-time forecasters this summer. But with hundreds still eligible for retirement, it could be a race against time. In San Diego, Brian White, CBS 8.
Thank you, Brian. Just in, people from a dozen countries will no longer be allowed to enter the United States. President Donald Trump signing a proclamation just hours ago. A list of all the countries is on your screen right now. Most of them are predominantly Muslim countries in the Middle East and Africa, and Burma and Haiti. The ban takes place at midnight next Monday. In addition to the ban, there will be heightened restrictions on visitors from 7 other countries.
The fight over what some are calling a terror attack by federal immigration authorities at a South Park restaurant last week is far from over tonight. Community groups gathered today outside the federal building downtown to deliver a strong message of opposition.
That's where CBS 8's Alex Cheney joins us live from with what they're calling for. Alex.
Carlo and Marcella, that's right. It was packed out here in the courtyard of the federal building in downtown San Diego. Everybody who was here, multiple community groups, all asking for ICE to get out of San Diego.
ICE out of South Park.
ICE out of South.
ICE out of San Diego.
ICE out of San Diego.
ICE out of San Diego was the rallying cry this afternoon in front of the federal building downtown, as several community organizations denounced the ICE raid in South Park last week.
And people of African descent stand with our brothers and sisters who are facing this terrorizing from the federal government. It is the same program that has been plaguing our country.
That we're horrified by the violence, by the goon squad that showed up.
Last Friday, heavily armed federal agents stormed Buena Foretta in South Park, deploying flashbang grenades and detaining multiple employees in handcuffs. According to a warrant obtained by CBS 8, federal agents came to the restaurant looking to arrest 19 targets who they believed to be working with fraudulent identification. One man at today's rally works near that restaurant and says he saw the raid.
You know, I pointed them out. Those are fascists, those are Nazis, those are Gestapo. They have no place in our community. They're trying to kidnap our neighbors, and that's what this is. This is kidnapping. This isn't law enforcement. This isn't keeping us safe.
The raid has renewed criticism of ongoing immigration enforcement tactics under the Trump administration's second term, which activists say are growing more aggressive.
The raid was a brutal attack on people hard at work, but because of the valiant community response that demonstrated that the people of San Diego have had enough and will defend our communities in the face of this monstrous violence.
Organizers hope today's news conference will not only call attention to the trauma caused by last week's operation, but also mobilize public support to resist future raids. And organizers here today said that they are planning another rally. This one's going to be Saturday at noon at the corner of Beach and 30th Street in South Park. Just outside, that is the intersection just in front of the Buena Foretta restaurant where that raid happened. Coming up on Saturday is when that rally is going to be. Reporting here live, I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
Alex just mentioned Buena Foretta. It's back open tonight in South Park.
CBS 8's Abby Black continues our coverage tonight, showing us how customers are rallying behind the restaurant following last week's raid.
Buena Foretta in South Park, we've seen a steady stream of supportive patrons, many outraged by what they're calling excessive force during last Friday's ICE operation.
The idea that people are being invaded like this and that they're scared, and so we want to support the establishments.
We want to welcome people from around the world to bring their best, and this is an amazing restaurant. They're bringing great Italian food, and part of what makes America great.
This was the scene Friday evening. Dozens of armed ICE agents in riot gear stormed this restaurant, handcuffing employees as flashbangs exploded. Federal search warrants revealed that the operation began with a 2020 tip alleging undocumented workers. The warrant, signed Thursday by Judge Karen Crawford, authorized the raid based on evidence that 19 employees, nearly half the staff, had submitted fraudulent green cards. After 3 days of surveillance, agents arrested 4 workers from Mexico and Colombia. The community response has been swift. South Park businesses launched a GoFundMe raising over $123,000 for legal fees and missed wages to support workers and their families. Democratic leaders held protests while ICE's acting director defended the operation Monday. Even some conflicted Trump supporters made the drive from Lake Elsinore today.
It's like in any business is trying to cut corners. I mean, you can't blame them for that. I mean, unfortunately for us, we're registered Republicans. We believe in what Trump is doing. He's trying to send a message. The previous administration broke a system that Trump is now trying to fix.
Being a Trump supporter, but why was it important to be here today when they reopened?
Because they have amazing food, and actually it's the customer service, and the place is absolutely amazing.
The restaurant owner faces potential fines and imprisonment for allegedly knowingly hiring unauthorized workers. The manager did not want to comment, but says that he wants some normalcy. Staff referred us to a PR company who shared Instagram posts that they say that they're grateful for the support. All Buena Foretta restaurants reopened today with the exception of the location at Liberty Station, which will remain closed this week for undisclosed reasons. The restaurant did not want to comment any further, citing legal advice. Reporting in South Park, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Thank you, Abby. We're getting a look at a multi-million-dollar meth bust in the South Bay. It happened last night. Sheriff's detectives and Border Patrol agents say they saw 3 cars being loaded with suspected bundles of drugs. 2 were driven to a motel in San Isidro. The 3rd car drove to a motel in Chula Vista. Detectives say they later found dozens of bundles of meth worth an estimated $5.5 million. The drivers of all 3 cars were arrested and booked on several charges. Federal authorities have arrested a man they say is linked to the bombing at a Palm Springs fertility clinic last month that killed the bomber and injured 4 others. Daniel Park is accused of giving and trying to give material support to Guy Barkas. Officials say Park paid for 90 pounds of ammonium nitrate that was shipped to Barkas in the days before the attack. Officials allege both spent about 2 weeks together in California earlier this year, conducting experiments in Barkas's garage. The complaint against Park says the FBI recovered large quantities of chemicals and lab equipment in that garage after the bombing.
Mr. Park, who shares Barkas's extremist beliefs, is accused of shipping approximately 180 pounds of ammonium nitrate, an explosive precursor commonly used to construct homemade bombs, to Barkas.
The 32-year-old was arrested last night at New York's JFK International Airport after returning to the U.S. from Poland.
County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer is asking residents if she should request county funding to keep beach fire pits functioning. Right now, the nearly 200 fire pits are on the chopping block as the city of San Diego tries to balance a $258 million budget deficit. Lawson-Remer says the response her office has received is overwhelming, with 82% of her constituents supporting the move. It would only be a one-time deal. Lawson-Remer says she'd likely be able to save the fire pits by using a community enhancement grant, which is designed to improve quality of life.
He removes them, that's it. It's going to be a lot more effort to get them back, for sure.
We're told there is a lot of scrambling being done behind the scenes right now to find a solution to keep these fire pits from going away. California state senators unanimously passed a bill today that could speed up the removal of encampments along state highways. Senator Catherine Blakespear from Encinitas wrote the measure. It would require Caltrans to work more closely with cities and set clear timelines for clearing encampments from state road right-of-ways. The measure now heads to the Assembly. A federal appeals court says the city of San Diego's ban on teaching free yoga at city parks and beaches violates the Constitution's First Amendment.
Today, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals sided with instructors Stephen Hubbard and Amy Bach. They offer free, donation-based classes at spots like Sunset Cliffs and Pacific Beach, but sued after being ticketed for not having a permit. The city had argued that the ban was needed to control commercial activities in public spaces. But the court found that teaching yoga is protected speech and that the city's ordinance unfairly targeted yoga classes as it was allowing activities like Tai Chi to continue. The instructors can resume teaching for now, while the broader legal challenge continues. The warning from California's DMV to drivers all across the state.
Those details still ahead. Plus, we're working to get answers about what's going on with a noisy neighbor in East County.
Did you know your car's color affects its resale value? Well, you may be surprised what a new study said. We'll break it down in a live report.
Well, we're still looking at a lot of cloud cover out there, and we have a submarine layer for today, seeing that cloud cover across most of the county and also seeing some thunderstorms in the mountains. But what does the rest of the week hold? I'll have those details coming up.